Hey guys, Ruth Delgado here, and this is Ruth Delgado's Glamour page. Welcome back to my channel. Sorry about my nails. I just did a cleaning job, and it was a cleaning job where I had a lot to do. So all of my nails ended up popping off, but I'm gonna end up putting them right back on very soon. But I had to get on the video real quick and also check my head out, y'all, to advertise my cleaning business. Y'all see it? Y'all see it? Y'all saw my hat in one of my other videos. I mean, my shirt in one of my other videos, and this is the hat that go with it. But anyway, I'm I'm coming to you guys today on video again because, well, not again. This is my first time coming to y'all today, but I was on video all day yesterday. But I'm coming today on video because I just noticed from watching one of my own videos that I messed up on one of them. So I named one of my videos um, the time frame when I'm looking for my book so I could be able to tell y'all the right name of it. Sorry, y'all. I had to get my book. But basically, it was a video that was supposed to be talking about um, story time when I was homeless and walking around University City all night to be safe with security while I help people who don't even speak to me today. So that was supposed to be the video that I had uploaded, but I listened to the video and I messed around and got distracted trying to tell you guys about the reason why I ended up in that situation, and I never actually got to that particular story. So I guess that I'm going to do a video 1 and 2 of it, and this is just going to be the second video. That's how I'm going to have to do it. So this time I'm gonna get straight to the point. I'm not going to do no backstory or anything like that. If you guys want to see the backstory, you have to look at the video that I uploaded before this one that is sounding like it goes with this video. It does. So I'm going to start strictly from right before I ended up homeless to tell you guys how I ended up homeless. So, but this is the shortest way that I can come up with to tell you guys. So, long story short, I had ended up getting arrested because the girl star that I told y'all about in the other video got me arrested. The roommate from hell, she got me arrested, and I ended up with a record. So, I um after the case officially was done, I ended up losing my job. I didn't lose my job until the case was officially done and I was found guilty though. So I was still holding on to it at the time that she did what she did. But I lost my job, I lost my place, I lost everything after this girl did what she did. And I ended up having a harder time finding a job than I usually had because I usually had a hard time, but it wasn't as hard as it ended up being after I ended up with a record. So that's the reason why I ended up having to go through the things that I went through with not finding a place and not finding a job and stuff like that because I went through that situation with the roommate from hell where she got me arrested, and now I ended up with a record and I ended up having to move out of the place that I thought that I had for myself and get another place. So the place that I was at before then, I ended up also being forced out of because my two roommates that I was living with, they were moving. So that's what I was explaining to y'all in the video before this. Now, getting to the actual subject that we're talking about at hand, which is about me being homeless, walking around University City all night to be safe with security. So basically, at this particular time, I had a friend that I was very cool with, but we were just like friends. We weren't like girlfriend, boyfriend, because we never went that far with it to actually call each other boyfriend and girlfriend. And we did have a bit of a distance with us, but I don't know, it was a strange type of friendship, but we never actually called it a relationship, so that's why I don't call it a relationship. But this guy was a friend of mine, and he was a security guard. Now, mind you guys, if y'all don't know, I was a security guard myself, but I worked at a different location. I worked for the same company that he was working for, though. And at this time, we were speaking, but like I said, we weren't together. And he knew about my situation, about, me having the issues that I was having and everything. And so he told me, he was like, I live with someone that I can't allow you to move in with me, but I can help by basically, I work at the hours that you would be out and not having nowhere to go. So if you want, you can come hang out in the areas where I work at, and I'll keep an eye on you and make sure you cool while you out here. And basically, I had to agree to him doing that because I didn't know what else to do, and I didn't want to put myself in an even more dangerous situation just hanging out in a bad area. So I did just that. For 3 days, because it took me basically 3 days to finally get myself together in my mind and think, okay, yeah, I need to go ahead and do something different as opposed to working for other people. And so, therefore, I started to take the advice of some other people that I was around who was telling me, all right, things hit the fan too hard. You might have to just go ahead and dance. I know you don't want to do it, but you need to do something to be able to legally get yourself some money. And that's the best bet that you got right now. And so when I went through those 3 days of working at the barber shop, because that's where I was working at more consistently than anywhere else. I was working at the barber shop, doing washing hair. And that wasn't really giving me much of anything to be able to pay any rent anywhere. I couldn't even pay rent in the shoebox from no from from what they was giving me for washing hair. So because of that, like, I was like, all right, I gotta do something different. I even tried babysitting the girl Beck that I have mentioned before on my channel, who I was friends with, that we had met in college. Right before we ended up not being cool, not being friends anymore, because she ended up trying to make me feel real bad about being a dancer, I was working with her, well, working for her, watching her daughter. And let me tell y'all how I'm sitting there. I never watched her daughter again because I'm sitting there watching her daughter, and she didn't come home the next day until like late. So, yeah. But anyway, let me get back on focus. So, with me having all these different issues or whatever, with um trying to hustle up enough money to be able to pay bills but not able to do so, I was like, okay, well, I have to do something different. So, at the time, dang, I'm telling y'all all my business, but it is what it is. At the time, the girl, I don't remember what I named her in my other videos, but I told you about this girl too, who I used to call my sister, and she totally turned her back on me for no reason. I believe that she totally turned her back on me because her lying ex-boyfriend, who is also one of her kids, well, two of her kids' baby's father, lied to her and probably told her that he was messing with me, or he was talking to me or something, and made her think that I was with him or I was cool with him or something, to the point that she just totally stopped talking to me and never even explained to me why. But I kind of just connected the dots on my own. Why do I keep getting off track? Anyway, so she was the one more so in my ear than everybody else that was telling me, like, listen, I used to dance myself. She was like, it's not that bad, and you're a beautiful girl, so you're definitely going to make money. And I was just like so against it. But when I went through, working at the barbershop, barely making enough money to even eat with, let alone do anything else with, and trying to hustle up money by babysitting, and then people leaving me with their kids even longer than they're supposed to, and then coming back with a whole bunch of million and one apologies and no tip. Like, I was going through a lot, and I was sitting there um traveling around on the bus and stuff to get to people to do their hair, because at the same time I knew how to do hair and I had a little bit of clientele for that. Y'all, I was hustling like crazy, but I still wasn't making enough money. So when I came to the conclusion that no matter what I was doing to hustle up this money, I wasn't going to be able to make enough with what I was doing, I realized, okay, I got to dance. So by the third or fourth night that I was sitting there trying to figure things out, and I was still walking around University City because I didn't have nowhere else to go to lay my head. The last night, I'm gonna call her my god sister. All right, I'm gonna just call her my god sister. The girl I called my god sister, she had somebody else that she was cool with, that she was friends with, or whatever. It was a female, and she knew this guy that was a bouncer in a lot of different clubs around the area where I lived at. So basically, both of them was telling me like, listen, we gonna make sure you good when you go to the club, because we gonna have our guy there watching your back. You just go in there, make your money. If you need a ride, he'll make sure you get home or whatever. So I didn't have that much of an issue with dancing anymore, because my safety wasn't compromised, because they was telling me that dude had my back and he was going to look out for me. And he did. That first night, I went to the club. He looked out for me. He made sure I got, you know, somewhere to stay, because that day I was like telling him to take me to University City. I was just going to walk around all night. He was like, I'm not going to let you do that. That no. He was like, I'll just let you come to my spot and chill with me, and that's that. Like, no. He was like, I'm not going to let you just walk around University City for another night. So, but he wasn't all that good either, because he was trying to get some. So, but I shut him down. I let him know, no, we're not doing that. But yeah, that's a whole nother story. But anyway, so um that night I had ended up having a place to lay my head. And I stayed the night at his house, I think, for about 2 days before I made enough money to be able to get my own place. And I told you guys this story because, like, I know that people a lot of times like to look down on the homeless and, talk so bad and so low about them. But the thing about it is, especially people that live from paycheck to paycheck, we are all one step away from being homeless. Let me tell you, okay? Because with this paycheck to paycheck situation, if you ain't have a job, what would you do? And the thing about it is, people would hate to like really think about that, because it's like a nightmare. But I mean, look, we just went through this COVID situation where a lot of companies shut down and people didn't have jobs for a while. And I'm pretty sure they went through hell when they was going through that too, especially if they never experienced that before. So that's why I decided to tell this story, to get people to understand and know that, like, yo, you never know what kind of issues and problems and complications and situations that people have survived, have gone through and have made it, have gone through and have like figured it out. So don't ever try to underestimate nobody or talk nobody down, or make somebody feel bad because they're homeless, because at the end of the day, you don't know what they're going through. You don't know what got them there, and you don't know if they're going to be able to end up coming up and not having that problem no more, and it no longer being an issue. So, thank you guys for watching. I'm so sorry, guys, that the first video that I had loaded that was supposed to be this ended up so all over the place. I hope this one had a lot better direction. I think probably one of the major reasons why I was so all over the place and I never really got to the point was because I didn't write down all of my key points like I, had started doing. And one of the major reasons why I didn't do that is because I really don't like looking down and reading while I'm talking to you guys. I like to just let it go off the dome. And when I let it go off the dome, it just ends up all over the place because it's like no structure really. I gotta like get it back into structure as I speak about it, as I talk about it. And so I think that's probably the reason why that ended up happening, to the point where I got so distracted by so many different things that kept popping up in my head, whereas I felt like I had to explain the reason behind the circumstances. But yeah, these circumstances that I went through, they landed me in the situation where I had to be dancing and I didn't want to dance. I felt like my, safety was compromised, and I didn't want to dance because I didn't want people judging me and looking at me differently and looking at me a certain kind of weird way. But now I realize, like, regardless of people looking at me in a certain kind of weird way, they not paying my bills, they not helping me out, they not supporting me. So I should not give a hoot what they're saying. And now I don't, but I used to. And that was bad decision on my part, but I have learned and I've gotten better and I've matured and I've come to realize, like, you can do better, so go ahead and do better. And that's why I decided to start my businesses and to get really serious with this YouTube page and everything like that, because I'm like, I want to create stability that's so um strongly rooted that there is nothing that can uproot it. There is nothing that can shift it. There is nothing that can change the circumstances. There is nothing that can actually make the situation shift. So that's what I am really pressing towards doing, because I know it's important to really get yourself to live the life that you really want to live instead of living to die. I don't want to live to die. I want to live a happy, healthy, amazing life that I'm proud of. And I might be kind of even amazed that I was able to live that life, that I ended up being able to live that life, that I ended up being able to put myself in a better position so that I can live the life that I actually really want, as opposed to the life that I feel pressured into living because of my circumstances and situations that seem to be out of my control right now. But hopefully, prayerfully, very soon, they will no longer be problems anymore. Or if there are still problems, it won't be the same ones that I've had in previous situations, like me being homeless and stuff like that. Now, mind you, even without having myself secure in my businesses and stuff right now, I'm still learning how to stay stable, or more stable and consistent, and make sure I keep a place and keep a stable roof over my head. But in all actuality, it's not shared enough how difficult and how hard it is out here trying to find a place, for one, and then for two, trying to stay stable in that place, especially when things happen in the world, like repos happen, people move, like so many things occur and so many things happen, people pass away. So it's just like anything could happen to change or shift your circumstances and your situation. So be careful how you looking at somebody else because they homeless, they dirty, they this, they that. You never know what they went through to get there. And you never know how they might end up coming up. And you might end up seeing them on the streets homeless, and then turn around and seeing them in a mansion somewhere in a gated community where you can only even try to look over the gate because you locked out. Because that's how life is. Life can shift just like that. And that's how life gonna shift for me. Y'all remember I said that because these are facts. All right, y'all. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Click the notification bell to be notified every time I upload. And if you are already a part of the Truth Tribe and you have already pressed that subscribe button, thank you so much for being a part of the tribe. I love you. I appreciate you so much. And I really pray that I am producing videos that you guys really like and that you guys are really into. And I'd like some feedback. So, guys, please make it sure it's sweet and kind. Be nice to me, and I will be nice to you. All right, guys. See you next time. Bye.